Hey everyone, if you haven't checked out our other videos yet, you should know that in this playlist we're teaching animation creation from beginner to advanced levels. In this episode, we're going to explore the Moho software interface together. If you haven't watched the previous episode yet, I highly recommend checking it out first. Also, make sure to subscribe to the channel because we upload tutorial videos every other day. The main focus of this episode is to give you a brief introduction to the different windows in Moho software. We're going to take a look at the different parts of the software and what each one is used for so we can get ready for the next episodes and dive deeper into Moho with more specialized knowledge. So there are a few main windows, like Style, Layers, Timeline, Tools, Properties, and of course, the menu bar. Alright, before I close this side panel because the interface feels too cluttered, let me explain it real quick. Alright, let's start by checking out the Style window and see how it can be useful for us. The Style window is used for coloring in Moho. It helps us manage and apply colors to different elements in our animation. For example, we enter the Layers window, select a vector shape, like the character's arm. Alright, let me find it and select it. Now that we've selected it, we can give it any color we want, just like I'm doing right here. You can easily change its color from here too. Of course, in the upcoming episodes, we'll be giving a comprehensive and detailed tutorial on these windows. For now, this is just a general introduction. Styles help us not only with coloring, but also with using patterns and textures available in the software or ones we've created ourselves. There are even more advanced features like soft edge, gradient, drop shadow, and many other tools in the Style window, which we'll be covering in detail in the upcoming episodes. So, that's the purpose of the Style window. Now, since we don't need it, we can close it from the window menu. The main window we're going to explore is the Layers window. If you've worked with any graphic software before, like Photoshop, Illustrator, or even After Effects, you know that all graphic software has a window called Layers. If you've worked with graphic software before, this is going to be way easier for you. In the Layers window, our layers are prioritized from top to bottom. To explain it better, anything displayed in front of others on the screen will be higher in the Layers window. This is a rule that's the same across all graphic software. For example, in this character, the left arm, which refers to the character's left since it's facing sideways, is placed on a higher layer compared to the right arm, which will be positioned behind the body. In this way, we can set the order and priority of our layers in the Layers window, and we can even adjust the type of layers. It's good to know that in this software, layers come in different types, and we'll cover each one in detail during its dedicated session. Layers like vector, image, image sequence, group, bone, switch, frame by frame, particle, note, audio, patch, and text. Whenever we create any of these layers, they'll be added to our layer list in this window. Just make sure that when creating any of these layers, you're positioned on frame 0 in the timeline window. For example, right now I'm clicking on Vector, and a vector layer is created here for me. Another part of the software is the menu bar, and in the upcoming episodes, you'll get a full introduction to each of the menus. For example, in the File menu, you can create a new project, save your work, or even import and export files from here. Or even in the Edit menu, we can select something, copy it, or access the preferences. And we'll also teach you in detail about other menus like the Bones menu, animation settings, scripts, and any other menu that exists here. The next window in the software is the Tools window. You've definitely seen the Tools window in other graphic software, but there's a difference here. In Moho, the Tools window changes, depending on the type of layer we're working with. So if I'm currently on a bone layer, the tools related to that layer will be displayed here. And if I click on a different type of layer, the tools will change accordingly. So if the tools you see in your software are different from mine, don't worry at all. Right now, since I'm on a bone layer, it shows these tools, but if I select a vector layer, my tools will change as well. Now I'm creating a new vector, and in my vector layer, I'll start drawing a few lines using the Add Point tool. Just like that, you've easily understood the relationship between each layer and its corresponding tools. Now, next to the Tools window, there's another window that has a similar relationship with the tools as the tools have with the layers. Basically, whatever tool you select, you can see its properties in this window, which we call the Properties window. As you can see, when I click on any of the tools, its properties appear in the Properties window. It's that simple. For example, right now I've enabled Stroke, Fill, and Sharp Corner for the Add Point tool. Or for instance, if I'm on the bone layer and select the Select Bone tool, all these options for adjustments become available in the Properties window. Oh, and before I forget, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel right now. Now let's move on to a really exciting window where the main action for our animation happens. We call it the Timeline window. It's good to know that in all animation software or any software related to motion graphics, the Timeline window is always present. If you look closely, you'll see that on this new layer I created, there are no keyframes and its timeline is empty. But when I click on a character that's already animated by default in the software and look at the timeline window, I can see the keyframes there. The space between keyframes is the range of changes we make to our layer, and these changes can include position, rotation, size, or anything else. I'll press play, or the shortcut spacebar, and you can see the movement on the timeline. There's also a display window where you can see everything you input, and it has a set of options below, which we'll explain in detail later. You can also manage the visibility of certain options in the View window by toggling them on or off. We'll explain all these options in 150 to 200 episodes, with plenty of practical examples, so don't worry about a thing. Another option available is in the Moho library panel, which is right here. This library contains files and characters that the Moho creators have provided for us. These are the default characters included, but if you want to do professional work, it's better not to rely on this section. Instead, create everything you need in a more professional way on your own. We're going to teach you everything about character creation, including the external software you'll need, like Photoshop, Illustrator, and even AI tools that can help you along the way. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and make sure to turn on the notifications so you'll be notified when the next video is released.